Hello, I'm here to talk with you today about the Trecena of Aq'ab'al. This is the first Trecena of the new solar year. I'm talking to you on this day, Oshlahu Ik, the first day of the new solar year. I have to admit I'm a little bit tired after our early morning ceremony this morning to greet the sunrise, to greet the Mam 13 Ik. And as you've probably seen, I made a video yesterday about that, about the ideas that might be apparent in the year 13 Ik. Anyhow, we're now moving into the Trecena of Aq'ab'al, a Trecena of new concepts, the new sunrise, shedding a light on something new. Now, the Trecena of Aq'ab'al, the day of 1 Aq'ab'al, are kind of milestone days for me. With this day, I will have completed 13 cycles of the calendar, which I've written. That will be coming up about, 10 years in November I'll have been writing. And I chose to begin my blog on the day 1 Aq'ab'al. And the reason why was that it was a new concept. This is a great time to begin new projects, to begin bringing new projects in. Now, after 260 days, of course, I went back and I looked at the work that I'd done and I was like, you know what? That needs a bit of tweaking, that needs a bit of polishing, that needs a bit of editing. And to be honest, maybe it's kind of like it's a continual work in process. Sometimes as I'm writing, I think about something, I think, yeah, that needs to go in there. Or something comes to mind. And I thought, oh yeah, I hadn't thought about it quite like that. Let's put that in there as well. And Aq'ab'al kind of accepts this because it's drawing together these different concepts, these different ideas into a new creation. And so it's a great time to be getting that new creation done. Now, that creation, of course, it's the beginning of the weaving. It's the warp of the loom. We still need to put the weft across. We still need to fill in the blanks and make the details happen and those kind of things. But Aq'ab'al gives us a start. Aq'ab'al, the first dawning, the first glimmer of dawn in the sky, the first evidence that the new sun is coming. Now, Aq'ab'al can also be a revealer because, it reveals what's been hidden in the darkness. Now, sometimes also on this end of the day, as I look out the window, it was, kind of like the darkness coming in and concealing things again. It's kind of like the light comes in and reveals, and then the darkness comes in and conceals. And so that process, either of revelation or concealing, this could also represent Aq'ab'al, either with the sunrise or the sunset, going into the light or going into the darkness. So it's an interesting time when you might find that things might kind of like come to light. Things might be revealed that you didn't know about. This is also a possibility for the Aq'ab'al Trecena. So we're going to begin the Trecena with the day 1 Aq'ab'al, the beginning of the dawn. Now, you may remember, if you follow my posts and if you follow my days and that kind of thing, and the way that I talk about it, you know that the last time that we saw Aq'ab'al would have been 7 Aq'ab'al, and I was talking about the first ray of light piercing the sun, piercing the horizon. And, kind of like I've actually been enjoying rather a few sunrises lately and, kind of like this kind of thing. But 1 Aq'ab'al is more the opposite end of the twilight. So for those of you who maybe do a little astronomy or astrophotography, or for those of you who just love being outside under the stars and in the night sky, there's a moment just before dawn. Here it's about an hour and a half before dawn, where twilight begins. Now it starts with astronomical twilight. And that means that all but the brightest stars start to fade away. And so, we can see the planets like Venus or Mercury. We can see the moon. We can see maybe Sirius, maybe some of the other brighter stars. We can see them all the way up until, into civil twilight. But when we're looking at things like the Milky Way, when we're looking at fainter dark sky objects or deep sky objects, we can only see them until the astronomical twilight comes along. And you can hardly tell. You just start realizing that you're seeing less stars than you were. You just start realizing that the sky is not black anymore. It's more kind of like an inky blue color. And you know that the sunrise is coming. For me, that is the kind of impression that I have for Aq'ab'al. It's the beginning, the first spark, the first glimmer of light coming. So, of course, we can't go about our daily routine yet. That's not ready to do yet. This is very much more about almost like the promise of the dawn coming, It's kind of like it's there, it's a little way off. Now, with that one is all about encouragement. It's that seed that needs the fertilizer in order to grow and fulfill its potential. And so with Aq'ab'al, kind of like this is the very first glimmer of a new concept coming to life. And that is going to need nurturing. Maybe it's going to need encouragement. Maybe if you've got a new concept that you want to put out into the world, then this is a great day to do it, to get some encouragement for it, to, kind of like present this new project, this new idea, this new concept to your family and your friends. Say, what do you think? Can you, do you think I should go for it? Can you offer any advice? How can we help it to grow? So Aq'ab'al, a great day to just push those new concepts out into the world to see if they're going to take root. From Aq'ab'al, we then go into Kat. So we have Kat, the net. Kat, that which binds. Kat, that holds us together. Can also be our burdens. It's our bundle. Now, Kat represents everything that we carry, everything that helps us in life, that helps us to walk through our lives and enjoy ourselves and enjoy our journey and all those kind of things. But it also represents the things that hold us back. It represents the burdens that we might carry in our net as well. And so when we see it with that too, for me, there's this kind of like very binary yes-no thing with the two. It's keep it or let it go. There's no middle ground. Kat is like yes or no. There's no maybe pile in there. It's either you're going to let it go or you're going to hold on to it. And in this new concept, we could look at it as what we are carrying in our bag. How does this fit into the new concept that we want to bring into the world? Does it fit or doesn't it fit? And it might be really obvious. It's kind of like there is no kind of like, well, maybe I could hang on to it and maybe it would see if we could fit it in later or something like that. It's like, I'm carrying this fully in my net, or I am choosing to not carry it anymore. And that's that. They're the two options that there are there. And so it can be this day of kind of like rather stark reality of keep or let go and nothing in between. And so it's a great day for sorting things out. It's a great day for working out what does fit into your new weaving, what does fit into your new concept, and what's just done its time, what's done, what's ready to leave. Let it go. We can see, kind of like this true, let's say, contrast between what we see as our burdens and what we see as our blessings. And of course, we hold on to our blessings and we release our burdens. That's what Kat's there for. Okay, so, kind of like it's a great day to sort things out, to work out what you're going to weave into your new concept. From 2 Kat, we'll then go into 3 Can. So, an interesting combination in that we have Can representing the power, can representing the wisdom, can representing the teacher, empowerment. But then we combine it with the number 3. And the number 3 representing the inner world, representing what's going on within us. And so what an interesting combination, because, kind of like can be seen as one of the more powerful nawalas. I mean, it represents power. And sometimes that power can get a little bit ahead of itself. Sometimes can end up getting seduced or seducing others, creating illusions of its own grandeur. And so there's that possibility in there. But can also represents our teachers, because when we're able to get the can energy under control, it represents our life force energy as well. It brings wisdom. It can bring healing. It's a very, very important energy to carry. Now, if we associate it with teachers, if we associate it with wisdom, if we associate it with empowerment, and then we use all of those phrases and we bring it inside, what are we looking at? Well, kind of like, I won't be too cliched, but, the teacher within. It's like, stop looking around for the teachers outside of you and listen to the teacher within you. The same with power. It's no good projecting the power outside. We've got to harness the power inside in order to crack through to our wisdom, the wisdom that we hold deep within our heart. That's what it's all about. And so 3 can. I often see that the 3 days are great meditative days. They're great reflective days, great days to, kind of like go within, to stay at home and kind of like understand what's going on. And with can, it's going within to find the wisdom. It's going within to find the power. It's going within to find the teacher. So what an excellent day for a little mini retreat, to spend some time, wherever it might be, in isolation, and really connect with that wisdom that you hold within you to help you to understand how to bring that concept out into the world. From 3 can, we will then move into 4 Kamei. So we have Kamei, the Nawal of death. Kamei, the Nawal of transformation. Kamei, the Nawal of facing our fears. And here, combined with the number 4. The number 4 representing the physical plane of existence. The 4 directions. The sunrise, midday, sunset, midnight. We can see 4 very much representing our physical world. And so if we're talking about the physical world, and we're talking about overcoming our fears, we're probably talking about overcoming physical fears. And we've all got them, I'm sure, kind of like, there are always things that come up for us. And sometimes, yes, we have mental fears, we have emotional fears, we have spiritual fears, I guess, as well. But this is really about facing our physical fears. It'd be a great day for, well, dare I say it, something like a parachute jump or a bungee jump or something like that, something on a very physical level, which might bring up a lot of fear in us. But Kamei is here to help us to overcome it. Kamei brings our ancestors into it. And as we go into this time of the new concept, as we go into this time of the new sunrise, of course it's going to bring up some fears. And if we're going into something that we've never done before, whether it's a project, a plan, an idea, kind of like if we're putting our new concept out into the world, if we didn't have any fear about it, then maybe it's not quite such a novel concept, Because there's always probably going to be something in the background. Just kind of gives us that little, is this going to work? Well, 4 Kamei is a great day to bring up that physical fear. Now, it's an interesting thing. I often think back to Aikido, and you think, well, what's he doing talking about Mayan Nawal and then talking about Aikido? Well, when I was learning, one of my senseis was saying kind of like, in order to take control of a situation, sometimes you need to precipitate it. So if somebody is standing in front of you and they're about to attack, they're about to strike, what you do is you move towards them to make them react. You take control of the timing of the situation. And so with 4 the reason why I mention this is because it's like, right, okay, here is a very, very beneficial day to take control of a fear. Maybe there's a fear that you've got, that you know you've got. And you think, oh, I wish I could conquer that one day. Well, what about on 4 Why not do it on 4 Because if it's that physical fear, if the ancestors are supporting you in the physical realm, then what a great day to face that fear. You know, what a great day to program it. So, yeah, fear of heights or whatever it might be. Book a parachute jump, something like that. You know what I mean? So, like, 4 facing our physical fears. But Kame, of course, is spiritual transformation that comes about through facing our physical fears. This is why I say it's such a good day to precipitate it, because it's not just about getting over the physical fear. It's about the transformative process that takes place because you do. And this in itself is shedding a new light on things. This in itself is bringing a new light to the world. From 4 we're then going to go into 5 Kirch. So Kirch, the Nawal of the wilderness, the Nawal of the deer. Again, we know that Kirch is a strong, dominant, and forceful Nawal to carry. But here we see it with the number 5, which is a relatively low number. And of course, it's the number of work, it's the number of putting our energy into stuff. And so 5 Kirch, we can see as putting our work into nature, putting our work into our connection with the natural world. Now, Kirch, we can also see as representing spiritual leadership of a particular form. And it's about putting our energy into that as well. When I talk about it as spiritual leadership, you know, kind of like, yes, we could use the shortcut word that doesn't really fit of priest, but it's like the counselor, the confessor, the one who works on behalf of their people, but more in the spiritual realm. That's who Kirch is. And so if we see it like that, then it's a great day to go and do that work. To go and look after the people in your village, in your community, you know, to provide that pastoral care. If that's something that you do or something that you can do, then 5 Kirch is a day to get out and do it. If not, working on your connection to the natural world. Well, that would suggest putting your energy into a hike, putting your energy into getting out there and connecting with the natural world. Maybe even putting your energy into some form of ecological project to look after the natural world. That might be a possibility as well. From 5 Kirch, we're then going to move into 6 Now, a few people who know me, a few people who may have spoken to me a few times, may remember that 6 is one of those days which I think is a rather brilliant combination. We have Anil representing the ripening, the yellowing, representing the receipt of the fruits of our labor. It's like things have come to fruition. And then we have it connected with the number 6, the number which represents ultimate stability, the connection of the heart of the sky and the heart of the earth coming together in the physical plane. So a very fortuitous number and a very fortuitous Nawal. And this is all about stabilizing your harvest, stabilizing your bounty, you know, kind of like all the things that you've been working for, all the things that you've been trying to bring in. 6 is the day where everything is in balance. Now, 6 can also represent family. And if Ganil can represent abundance and it can represent joy, the joyful abundance for your family. What a beautiful way of expressing it. This is about stabilizing everything that we've been working on and everything that we've been working for. Now, of course, this is in a time of new concepts. We have still got that going on. Let's not forget that we're in the Aq'ab'al Trecena. But 6 Ganil can be a great day to make sure that you stabilize the abundance in your world. Maybe you need to take some steps to ensure kind of like ongoing longevity of that abundance that flows to you. Now, maybe it's a little bit early for most people in the northern hemisphere and a little bit late for most people in the southern hemisphere. But possibly this could also be a good day to be working in your garden. You know, if you can get a fork into the ground, because I know I'm quite aware that some places may still be quite well frozen. Maybe this could be this day to start preparing the ground, to start, you know, kind of like bringing the stability for what you're going to grow at a later date. Now, it doesn't mean necessarily planting seeds yet, that's too early. But it could be turning the ground over. It could be, you know, digging in some compost to fertilize the ground, getting it ready to support the crop which will come. So moving on from 6 Ganil, we come to 7 Toch. Again, I see this as a very fortunate day because we have Toch, the Noel of the sacred fire. We have Toch, the Noel of offering and payment. And here we have it connected with the number 7. Now the 7 could represent being on top of the pyramid and seeing in all sorts of different directions as to what we might be able to choose. When we're talking about Toch, what we're choosing is the way to serve. Choose the way to serve. Okay? And so this is, you know, kind of like there are many options as to how we might use our skills and our talents to better serve our community. 7 Toch might give us a good idea of how to bring that out. But the other thing with the 7 is that 7 can represent endings. And with those endings, you know, this is a finality. And with that finality, it's like the final payment. Toch, if we see it as representing debts, then we can understand that this, you know, kind of like is where we finally clear our debts. Karmically, or however we look at it. That's what the time is. Okay? And so, you know, a great time, if you have got anything like that hanging over your head as you move into this era, this Trecena of the new dawn, the new concept. You know, kind of like if we're going to move forward, we can't be moving forward if we're bogged down by our debts. And so 7 Toch gives us an opportunity to make a payment and finish something off. It's like, there we go, we cut it, we leave it behind. Thank you, Aq'ab'al Toch, for giving us this opportunity to make this payment, to clear our slate so that we can move into this new concept, free of that debt. So, you know, kind of like, let's say that if you had something outstanding that you weren't sure quite exactly when you were going to pay it off, 7 Toch might be a good day to resolve that. From 7 Toch, we then move into 8 Z. So, Washakip Z, a day of celebration, a day of ceremony. Washakip Z, a day where we're focusing on faith and loyalty and justice. Okay? Those 3 things we could associate with Z. That and unconditional love. Okay? Combined with the number 8. The number 8 representing the ceremony for justice. That could be a good thing to be doing. A ceremony to bring back faith. A ceremony for loyalty. To show our loyalty to what we've pledged ourselves to. It might be a sacred fire, might be a calendar, might be whatever. So here we are, you know, kind of like Z, you know, the nose of the dog. Well, taking our dogs out in the darkness. We can hardly see because remember, we're still in the first light of dawn. This is still astronomical twilight. We're definitely going to need a head torch or something like that to walk through the world. But here is our little dog walking beside us, sniffing out the way forwards. So we give thanks to them, so we make the ceremony for them. We give thanks for the faith that they bring us in our path. We give thanks for the faith that they have in us, guiding us forwards. We give thanks for the unconditional love between us, our family, our friends, our community, and our dogs, of course. Washikip can be a great ceremony for that. Now, the other thing that we can see with Tzi, of course, is that Tzi can represent the vices. And we could see Washikip Tzi as a good day to be making a ceremony to ask for relief from your vices, to help you to release yourself from them, drop them off. From Washikip Tzi, we move to Belaheb Bats. So Belaheb Bats, a very important day to many people here. They call it the creation of woman. I don't know, I feel it's got more to do with the creativity of women. You know, if you go over to San Juan, you'll find weaving cooperatives called Belaheb Bats, 9 bats, the women's weaving cooperatives. It's a day of celebration of the creativity of women. It's a day of celebration of the creation of life, because we have the number 9 representing the feminine, but it represents the feminine because it represents the 9 lunations that we spend within the womb, where we are being effectively woven within our mothers. And so Belaheb Bats celebrates that creation of life, that weaving of life. It celebrates women's ability to weave life into this world. So it's a great day to be going out and doing just that, weaving life. Whatever your life path, whatever your life pattern might be, go out and weave it. Now, of course, the Bats days we're going to couple with creativity. And this is about your life creativity. So what is it you're trying to create in your life? What is it you're creating in your world? What is it you want to bring in? Because maybe Belaheb Bats would be a great day for, plugging your creative instinct into the divine and bringing those creations to life. After Belaheb Bats, we then move into 10 Lahu. So the Nawal of the road, the Nawal of the path. And the number 10, the community, making agreements, coming together. So 10 is a great day to be going on a journey with your community, with your friends. A great day for a road trip with your buddies, as it were. Because it's about exploring hand in hand, going on a journey together. And here, in this Trecena of Aq'ab'al, in this Trecena of new concepts, or maybe you could get a group together that hasn't explored before together. Or maybe you could take a group that has explored together before to a completely different area to go and explore. Likes to get out there. It likes to find new things. It doesn't matter whether it's a physical hike or whether it's a journey through, kind of like a learning process. That's what stimulates to be able to explore new things, to be able to explore new ideas in this time of new concepts. So what new concept might you bring to your community to explore? 10 may well bring that out. Choose a path to walk together and walk it hand in hand. Sometimes as we're walking our path as well, in this Trecena of the new concept, as we're going into the new concept, sometimes we're going to need to, accept some help to come together. Maybe that's also what can be explored, how we can cooperate, how we can bond within community in order to explore that. From 10 we then move into 11 Aq. Now it's an interesting combination is this, because Aq, of course, is our spinal column. Aq represents leadership, particularly civic leadership. And here we can see it combined with the number 11. Now, one of the things about Ach is that Ach is, well, we might call it steadfast. I think steadfast would be a good word for it. It's very down to earth. It will make sure that things get done in order to ensure that the community thrives. But in doing so, sometimes it's going to, kind of like it's not going to take any risks with it because it's busy looking after house, home, and community. So why would we want to take any risks? But sometimes that might mean that Ach doesn't quite move forwards in a way that it could. Then along comes the 11. And the 11, we don't know which way it's going to go next, right? What the 11 needs, well, I say what the 11 needs. The 11 is highly creative, highly stimulated. But, maybe that 11 would benefit from just sort of like, being grounded just a little bit. Just kind of like, to have its feet on the ground, which is exactly what Ach does. So it's like Ach brings the 11 into a bit of grounding, and the 11 elevates Ach just a little bit, brings out the spontaneity in it. That spontaneity makes us go out and look in different directions. The 11, we don't necessarily know which way it's going to go next. It's not following a particularly logical path. It's following its intuition to take it to different discoveries. Those discoveries will create something very novel. Now, Ach might always follow the beaten track. It wouldn't think about going off the beaten track because we know the way that things are done in order to keep society in harmony. So the 11 is persuading Ach to go and look in different directions in order to bring harmony to home and community. And this is why I think it's a really interesting combination, because it brings about, kind of like it stokes the fires of Ach. And yet Ach grounds that 11 and makes it maybe a little bit more stable. So an interesting day to, go off the beaten track to find out what's going to bring harmony to your home and community. From 11 Ach, we then move into 12 Ish. So we have Ish, the Nawal of the shrines and the altars, the Nawal of Mother Earth. Ish, the Nawal of the prayer giver, the Nawal of the magician, for want of better words. And here we have it combined with the number 12. The number 12 gathering together all of our life experiences. Well, I often think about the 12 as being like writing our autobiography, taking all of those experiences and putting them into one bundle. It's bundling it before we take it back to spirit, as it were. And we see it there with Ish. So it's sort of like bundling our magical experiences together, writing our magical autobiography, as it were. It's using our life experience to understand how to communicate with the earth, how to make our offerings at the shrines and the altars. And maybe, I presume if you're watching me talk about stuff, you've been to ceremony, or whether it's a Mayan ceremony here, or maybe you had one of the Tatas visiting your homeland or whatever, and you were at a Mayan ceremony there. Or maybe there are other ceremonies that you've been to. But each of those is teaching you something. Each of those is teaching you how to connect with the Mother Earth, how to make your prayers, how to, call things forwards. And here we see it connecting with Ish. Ish. This is kind of like where we're making the presence. So, like for me, 12 Ish can be seen as like, right, okay, in some ways, yes, there are protocol to ceremony, as it were. But in other ways, the more people that we have appreciating Mother Earth, the more people that we have putting their energy into making ceremony, taking an hour or 2 or 3 or 4 out of their day to go and show some gratitude to Mother Earth. There's not really a lot wrong with that. We might say, well, I don't know how to do it. It's like, well, think about the ceremonies you've been to. Think about the places where you've been. Think about the people you've interacted with. Did none of them give you the inspiration of something that you could do to show your gratitude to Mother Earth? So I think it's a good day for doing that. I think it's a good day for drawing all of those experiences together to understand how you can connect with Mother Earth. And then finally, we're going to finish this Trecena on the day Oshlahu Tzikin, 13 Tzikin, the spirit bird. Okay? Because we have the number 13, the number which represents the ancestors, represents spirit, combined with Tzikin, representing prosperity, Tzikin representing the vision, the clarity of sight and the focus in order to prosper. Well, this sounds like a rather wonderful day, doesn't it? This is where we're leading up to. We've come out of that, kind of like I was talking about, that first realization that the dawn is coming on Aq'ab'al. Where are we ending up? We're ending up with the vision of spirit. We're ending up with the focus of the ancestors on where we're going. It's a great day to be asking for your vision to come to you. It's a great day to be asking for, kind of like maybe if something's gone a bit fuzzy, maybe if kind of like things are not as clear as they have been. 13 Tzikin is a great day to ask Spirit to show you your focus, bring clarity to your sight, and help you to understand what you're going towards in order to bring prosperity to your community, to your family, and to yourself. How to help everybody to thrive. Okay, so again, if you're looking for, kind of like, what's my vision? I've kind of become a bit confused. I've kind of, lost it a bit or whatever. 13 Tzikin is a wonderful day to be asking the ancestors, show me clearly my vision. Bring it clearly to my sight. Help me to focus on that which I wish to bring in, that which was conceived, that I wish to weave into the world in order to bring prosperity. Okay, so, well, maybe I got so comfy. That was a bit of a longer one than usual. I hope that you enjoyed it. And I will speak with you again in 13 days' time when we begin the Trecena of Aq'ab'al. Thank you.